In the last episode of Isla Napali, we didn't really go into a time-lapse. This time we had a look into the guest flow management. As you can see in the background, we tried to work out if the guest flow is working good or not. And it seemed that there is still a lot to fix, but this will be done in the next guest flow management episodes. Today we are back in a normal time-lapse and just have fun, sit back and relax and have fun. Alright, here we are in the next episode of Isla Napali. We are in the 40s, so to say. Episode 41 of Isla Napali. This episode is split again into two parts. The first one is it's the recording from our Monday stream, which unfortunately was a little bit shorter than usual. I was trying to squeeze in another stream this week, but unfortunately there seems to be no time. It's very stressful at the moment. This is also why this episode today is pretty late. I'm sorry for this, but from leaving the house today till being back to be able to record, there was just too much going on. I was in the new flat dealing with a lot of stuff. I was also going to the workshop and buying all the new stuff we needed for our workers. They really required a lot of new stuff for the home, like color and various stuff for the walls and cables and all this kind of shit. You will need in a new flat. So that was pretty busy. And just a few minutes ago we came home and I'm here now to record. So I definitely want to give this episode to you, because I have already recorded so much footage this week that also Sunday's episode is already pre-recorded. So as always, I still hope that you will be very, very busy doing some comments down below in the comment section about this episode. And I'm also very sorry about maybe sounding super noisy and super nosy, I should say. The allergy is really hitting me hard, like never before, I should say. It's really, I'm filled with medics. I'm really I'm feeling good, right? It's not, I'm not too bad at the moment, but it's as you can see, I really have a lot of struggle to get the pronunciation right. It's not really necessary because my pronunciation is bad anyways. It's more or less like I can't really breathe normally, so it's really hard to get. I'm trying to talk as normal as possible, but if I wouldn't concentrate on doing so, you could barely understand the thing. So it's really, really unfortunate this year, since the spring here in Germany is way too early. I don't know, it just skipped 2 months and it's here already, so it's super annoying, for me at least. As a person who has no deal with allergies and stuff, this needs to be amazing, or this seems to be amazing. For me, this is awful. Like, if I would have one wish free at the moment, I'll definitely get winter back. It's just not working. My body and everything is just completely wrong. It just feels completely wrong. It's not doable. I'm just trying to survive each and every day with all the medics in me that prevent me from not getting some air, or just they help me to still breathe, let's put it that way. If I wouldn't take them, it would be awful. I would need to stay home and just stay in bed the whole time and keep the windows shut, so that none of these pollens get inside. And anyways, I don't want to bother you too much with it. I am still feeling good, so here I am. So I just wanted to let you know, because it's even I can't really listen to myself at the moment because it just sounds so bad. But anyways, there's just so much to talk about and show you, so this is why I still do the videos, obviously. However, as always, I have to remind you, there is still this episode going on with our little lottery, or poll, or whatever you want to call it. Actually, it's a little I think it's a little lottery. So I have already seen 2 wonderful stories or wonderful quotes in the last couple of episodes, which I will definitely put on a billboard. But there are still 2 billboards I haven't decided yet. So if you have a good quote or any random fact or whatever regarding Isla Napali that you want to see on a billboard with your name on it, as well as the kind of origin of this quote, story, whatever you want to come up with, just go ahead and do so. And I have to say, I decided that I'm I'm trying to give away a little bit of a better game this time. So for the winner, because as I said, I want to try to bring, I think in Monday's episode, hopefully I'll have the billboards ready and I'll have them in the episode, but I will let you know in Sunday's episode anyway, so if this will hold true. But I am willing to show them to you so that you guys then can judge upon or like which one in your eyes, or in your opinion, is the best one. And the best one gets, and this is the cool thing, hopefully, I'm trying to get a key at the moment, but hopefully gets a really, really great game. I can already tell you, it is Tropico 5. Is it 5? 6? Oh my god, this is an awkward moment. The current version of Tropico. Because I'm willing to do a little bit of a playthrough with it, and it's Tropico 6, I'm so sorry. I'm willing to do a little bit of a walkthrough and a little bit of a playthrough in the next couple of weeks, maybe 2-ish weeks. I'm gonna do this, and I'm willing to give away one key. So yeah, hopefully this is a little bit of a good thing for you to keep posting some comments down below in this episode, and just be active. If you don't want to participate in the billboard thing, just make sure to comment about this episode, because there's quite a bit going on in the next part, which is about to start in a few seconds. But you've seen that until this time in the recording, there was only a little bit of fixing going on. I was fixing some of the path interactions. This is still the result of our guest flow management episode, because I felt I have to fix the things immediately, otherwise I will forget about them, and this will lead into a disaster, I should say, because I won't remember in 2 weeks time, and then I would have to watch the episodes again, and I won't do that. So it's definitely better to quite easily fix this already now. But you can really see that I was trying to do this with the normal fences in the game, but then I figured, you know what, the normal fences really don't work that well, and I did it again with the coaster track. It's just so much more flexible, and I'm also willing to do a lot more fencing with coasters again in the future of Isla Napali. It just gives the whole thing so much more of an organic layout. It's really giving it such an organic layout, and this is really what I want to do. It's a hyper-realistic attempt, and this is why we definitely need to look also into realistic fence designs. And yeah, I just feel like coasters offer the best way of doing it. However, before we go now into a little bit of a beautification of this go-karts area, I have to say, big props to Variable Gaming, or Variable I should only say, because he changed his name, his YouTube name, to a lot easier name. And so he made a wonderful beam and hypercoaster this week, and he based this off an idea I had last time on his stream when I was just on sitting or chilling around in his live stream. He was talking about that the spine of the B&M coaster is a little bit too thin, and I had this idea in mind for quite a while to, kind of make a custom spine by using the monorail coaster, and I'm so glad he did this week. He created a wonderful hypercoaster, and he used the monorail or the single rail coaster, I should say, only to make the spine of the B&M track look thicker, and you can really call that this coaster really is looking thick. And I will highlight, if I remember, I will put the link down in the description below. He he released the POV video today, and it's just looking awesome. And yeah, this is what the community is all about, right? Someone has an idea. I would never have time to build that coaster at the moment, so I'm so super glad he was he was super hyped about that idea and immediately went in the game and tried it. I believe, even if you're looking, tell me, Variable, I believe you just jumped into the game next day and tried, or you just got your hands on it and tried if it would be working the way I showed it in the image, and I believe you were figuring quickly that it would work. And so in the end, he did it in the last week, and I have to say, it looks super awesome. Like, these close shots of the track, they are just awesome. They are looking superb, I have to say. I mean, the coasters, especially the B&M track in Planet Coaster, is great, but it also is a little bit, it's not boring in that kind of sense that it's looking bad or whatever, but we have so many variants of this coaster always sharing the same track that it somewhat gets a little bit repetitive, and getting in with a little bit of a variant of it, this really makes it stand out. And I really love this one, especially with the other coaster that is interacting with the BMM Hyper coaster in that video. You really get the look of that these are two different coasters, right? These are two different tracks, and that's really what you want to have there. But anyways, yeah, as you can see, now back to the actual video. You've seen that I just was changing a little bit about the entrance of the wave breaker, because I felt like it looked a little bit off, because the entrance was not really visible. Obviously we put a lot of effort into making the queue area as nice as possible, but however the actual entrance where the people need to be, well, they need to be dragged there, right? They don't need to be dragged to the overall coaster only, they also need to see where the entrance is. And I mean, yes, sometimes in theme parks the actual entrances to the rides are somewhat hidden, or like actually a little bit more small. So as soon as you're in the area, it seems that the theme parks don't really care about where exactly the entrance is. Obviously they do, but sometimes a little bit finicky to find. But they are still, in that kind of sense, they are still visible enough to make sure that you see where the entrance is. And the wave breaker entrance wasn't that visible. It was just somewhere in between next to the arcade, and it was just like hidden away in the trees. And I decided to kind of create something that makes you a bit more welcomed. And yeah, alongside this, I also decided that this area over here, which kind of existed now for a while without being touched at all, and just having these empty plain little path pieces floating in no man's land, I decided to finally touch it and try to make it a little nice and cozy plaza. And here's the thing, this sounds, or this might sound, this, what I said, I just can't talk because I'm not breathing enough. This may sound strange, but this really is the most Hawaiian or Kauaian style thing I've built in this park. And I'm going to describe now why. And this really sounds strange even to me now saying this, because it's just a little plaza. But there's this one thing I really learned about Kauai, this garden island. There were just so many various planter areas and custom planters and plants and little, cobblestone plazas and little garden areas and stuff like that. There were a lot of little coffees and stuff like that where you can sit down next to the beaches, but they were always focusing on making this area look nice and cozy by just having a lot of plants and planters and making it really look as green as possible. Obviously the island itself is already pretty green, so it's not too surprising that you do have a lot of greenery around you, but also not just nature but also nature. And this is what I wanted to combine here on this little plaza element, and I am really happy how this turned out. It might seem very simple and not too many things in here, but this is exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to make a simple looking thing which is still enjoyable to sit down and which is still very cozy and relaxing, and you can actually watch the dive coaster going up and down. So for example, if you're like a mom with a little kid and you don't want to go on a coaster, for example, if you're the light designer who is always waiting for us when we are on a coaster, then you would have this awesome place here to sit down and this additional planter behind you to separate this area a little bit more from the noisy go-kart track. So it's still a little nice and just welcoming area to sit down. And yeah, also I tried my hands on a little bit of a floor graphic, if you will, and I think I succeeded here. This looks, at the moment it doesn't look that nice because there is still the shadow of the building we are in, but as soon as I'm leaving the building you will see that this looks really decent, I have to say. It really looks good. And yeah, I'm just happy with how that turned out. And to make sure that people can watch the dive coaster, I didn't want to put a big planter in front of this one. So I was just getting in and making some custom curbings to make sure that this looks somewhat finished off. And I just left them open and fitted in some small plants here and there to make sure that this still looks a little bit like a planter. But I wanted to make sure that this is very flat, nothing special, just a few rocks and bits here and there to make sure that there is something in and make it look like finished, but that's about it. A few little tool pieces in, and yeah, I think this is as good as it can be. And sometimes design is also about not doing too much, right? Only the really necessary bits and pieces have to go in, and then you make things awesome. And I'm really happy with this plaza. I mean, you can always give me your feedback, but I'm really pleased with how the plaza actually turned out. It really fits superbly into this area. It really makes a perfect combination of it and makes the whole layout feel way more organic, and I can't wait to get people in the next guest flow management episode to see how they interact with this area. But however, we are at the end of this episode. I hope you guys had an amazing day. I hope you will have an amazing weekend ahead, and I also hope that you are happy with this episode and you are tuning in for the next time. But for now, that's it, and see you next time. Bye bye, guys.
We should be hiding out wherever we may find love that's flowing on, and I'll be dancing in your lights, alright. Play with me, let's play around. Play with me, we'll play around.
Yep.